All right, we're recording. Shoots, tell me about open day.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we had in the end 54 people booked in for the
Dude, that's
Sunday,
awesome.
Saturday and Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah, your goal was 40, right?
Sorry.
Wasn't your goal 40?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we surprised,
Yeah.
surpassed that, which is also good. It started rain. No, sorry. It started snowing on the Saturday.
Oh no.
Yeah. It didn't really turn to much, but we had a few cancellations. And then it snowed again on the Sunday as well for a little while.
Yeah.
So we had a few people cancel because of that. But long story short, I'll tell you the stats. Where are we? So yes, on the Saturday, we had 25 booked in, but then 21 came on the day. And we managed to then get 12 into our 5 book intro.
Okay.
So it wasn't the best conversion we've had. So it was only 57%.
Right.
The Sunday was a bit better. 19 came on the day. And we managed to book in 12, so that's 63%. So a little bit better. So what's that? 24
Yeah.
overall.
So I love this. I love that you set your bar so high that you just got 24 new people signed up for your intro class and you're like, it was all right, I guess. Like it's not really what I wanted. Like that's huge, man. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, our goal was 20. So
Yeah.
it was 40 for the open day originally, and then to get 20. So yeah, we have kind of gone past that. So
Yeah.
you always want
That's
more, don't you? But,
yeah. It's always more and more, but that's awesome, dude. So take a second and enjoy that because we do the same where it's just like any more. That's why we set our goals and have those little charts so I can look at it and go, okay, we could definitely have another 50 students in here right now, but we did meet our goals. We exceeded our goal, and that's awesome. So, I mean, really celebrate that. That's really cool, dude, that you were shooting for 40 and you had 54 sign up, you said. And then you said 25 came on, or 25 were signed up on Saturday, so that means 29 were signed up for Sunday?
um,
And then 19 showed up?
yeah. So we had quite a few cancellations.
Yeah. But then still 12 a day is huge. So that's 24 total that signed up out of the 20 that you were looking for. So you've more than exceeded your goal with, I would say, a freak weather event
Yes.
happening. So that's really cool. What is your normal, like, what's your normal sign up within, a couple of weeks or a month? Let's say a month. What was your sign up for like January or March, or do you know what your average sign up is? Like without these events?
Yeah, I can tell you. So I've got the stats somewhere. We've also got a bit of a waiting list as well because we had some people we completely got fully booked on the kids taster sessions.
Nice.
So I've now got a list of people waiting basically for the next one. So we've got about
That's really cool.
how many? I think it might have been 7. It's about around
Dude,
this
that's
week.
cool. Yeah.
So that's good. So we're just going
Yeah.
to work out when we do the next one basically.
Yeah. That's really cool. So how many do you normally get signed up in a month? What's your average?
I was trying to see for January because we've had quite a few intros coming for the beginning of the year. Sorry,
You're good.
hiding. It's disappeared. I'm sure there's about 10 or so maybe in January.
Okay.
Um,
And that's probably, is that kind of a good month because January new people are starting, or is that kind of average, or?
yeah. Cause that's I've probably said before. We haven't really done any
Right.
marketing because of the open days since
Right.
the last one.
So I think so the fact that you can do this open day and you get, I would say easily 3 or 4 times what you normally get in a month,
Mm.
from that one day, that's pretty huge. So I would call this one like a huge success. We had talked last time about doing these kind of on a regular basis
Yeah.
instead of, biannually. Have you thought about that, like a date for the next one since you've got a wait list?
Well, yeah, I think for the people on the wait list, I was going to do it kind of as soon as possible, really,
Yeah,
just so they don't get too cold, and
right.
then start up maybe at the end of the month when these first batch have started to leave the spaces.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about that last time. Since you've got a 5 week intro class, if you do it basically every 6 weeks, that
Yeah.
gives you a fresh batch each time they end.
So yes, that's what I was thinking about. But saying that, there is some spaces available still. I'm not fully.
Yeah.
So I opened up a lot of space for.
So that would be like maybe the first week in May.
Mm,
How is that for your calendar? Is that a
yeah,
good time in your calendar year or?
yeah, that's not too bad. That's kind of the time I was thinking of.
Yeah, I think that would work well. Um, so you can do kind of two things with the 7 that you have. Like you said, you can just squeeze them in real quick,
Mm,
so that they don't have to wait for 6 weeks. Or you can start and already have a head start on your however many you want to get. You can already have 7 towards your 40.
yeah.
Or with 7, like you said, you could just do 2 quick classes on a Saturday and knock them out.
Mm,
So that could be that too. I'd probably do that, honestly, at least for now, since you don't have the next one set.
yeah.
And then the next time you can say, hey, we're going to have this one. And then our next one's on this date, already have the date set.
Mm,
And then if people don't sign up for the first one in time, hey, sorry, but we'll put you on the second one. And that
yeah.
kind of, that makes you a little bit more limited in your spaces, which makes people more excited about signing up.
Mm,
I don't know, for me, like it makes it, even if I don't get signed up for something, if I know that I missed it and man, they're really full, I'll hang around. I don't think I'm going to go to the other guitar shop down the street if you're that full,
mm.
because they realize there's something good going on here. There's something special about this. I want to be here.
Yeah, it kind of provokes
Um,
curiosity, doesn't it?
yeah. But for now, since we didn't have that next one on the calendar yet, I would go ahead and squeeze those 2 in, this week or something.
Yeah.
Just do a class or two and knock those out real quick. And maybe you can get a few more signed up from that.
Yeah.
And that's huge, man. So you've got 24 total. How many classes did that wind up being?
Uh,
Or no,
so
they're all individual, right?
for the intro,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's where it gets tricky.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's 24 half an hours now.
I forgot about that. That's tricky. Yeah. Okay. So you've got how many you told me last time. How many classes do you teach in a week?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look at the schedule.
It's got to be 20 something.
It's well, we do 4 hours most days. Well, I teach Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 4 hours. So we do half an hour groups. So it's an 8 groups,
So that's 12.
and then we got Dan does his Saturday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a bit more than 9. I do a Sunday 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 18 over the weekend.
So 24 and 18, so that's 42. So about 21 hours of stuff. That's a lot of classes. So you got 42 classes, 21 hours. And then you basically added like half of your work week, 12 hours worth of stuff to do.
That's the only problem
Um,
with individuals.
So we talked about it last time. This is going to be your bottleneck.
Mm,
This is going to be where you're just limited because to bring 24 new students in is awesome. But in an actual situation, you're going to have 4 in a group, right?
yeah.
So you're going to be able to do those 24 students in probably about 3 hours, 6 groups. Whereas now it takes you 4 times that, 12 hours. And how many are you hoping to stick with you out of the 24? What's your average?
About 80, 90%.
Okay, so that's really good. So you're probably looking at kicking off at least 5 new classes out of that. So that's really good. Do you think it goes down if you put them in buddy, like if you do 2 in a group?
Possibly, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think the power of the intro, what is really good, it's not just about introducing them to the method or getting them confidence to join the groups. It's also, I suppose, knowing them as the individual. So I think
Right.
the problem with obviously groups, you kind of get lost. But obviously,
Right.
you spend 5 weeks with a person, you learn what music they like, you know what their family's like, you know what their interests are, then it's a bit more personable. So I think
gotcha.
that's the power of the intro.
I see that. Yeah. So okay, if you got that, you're even if it's not now, you're going to get limited soon. And we had talked about hitting your goal by the summer, that 150 goal.
Mm.
You were at was it 114 last time we talked? I think you had 107 monthly and 7 intro students last time we talked at the end of February.
So now we've got 109 group students. So
Okay.
We would have had 110.
Okay.
And we've got the 24 new ones plus 4 others. What's that? 28 intros.
So you're at 137.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you count them. Do you count them as, like, if they're an intro student, do you count that towards your 150, or are you really just counting the group ones?
I wouldn't normally count the group ones, but I like to count the intros because it sounds better.
Well, I know how you are.
I think we do convert quite a few. So I've been kind of changed because I think if you go in the mindset of they're group students now, I know they're intros, but they're going to transition to groups, rather than saying, oh, you're intro students, you might go to groups.
Right.
Then just the mindset of them, like, if you're already in, it's just, getting you ready for it sort of thing.
I think that's good. Not even just mention it to them, but your mindset of like, you're definitely sticking around. I think that plays a big difference. That's a good thing. So you're already at 137. Plus you have 7 that want to take the next thing.
Yeah.
So you could easily pick up another few from that. So you could be in the 140s already. And even if you drop a few just through natural attrition and you have a few from your intros that don't sign up, you're probably still going to be somewhere in the 130s, maybe even into the 140s already. And it's March.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're going to be there pretty quick. So we had talked last time about 150 being your goal. So the question now is, what happens when you hit that goal?
Say that again, Sochi?
So let's say we do one more of these days in May, right? I definitely see you hitting your goal, by June.
Yeah.
Because you have another class, you have that 5 weeks, you'll be there, if not even before then. So let's say you hit your 150 by, June 1st. What happens then?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what me and Charlotte have been talking about to my wife, where we kind of go from here. I'd like to perhaps say sort hours day. We've got another space in evening space that we could bring in another teacher to that he can't do.
Yeah.
We could grow. We could go for more, or I could obviously bring in someone to replace me and start going into a different role.
Yeah.
And into manager and whatnot.
What interests you the most? What do you feel like your best role is in this business?
I think I'm probably better at the business side of things.
Yeah.
But then I quite enjoy, I think I'm good at teaching definitely the younger kids as well. I have quite a lot of energy and kind of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And I imagine that's the harder thing to find a teacher to teach.
Yeah.
Especially for it seems like piano teachers do pretty well with younger students, but there's something about the type of person that teaches guitar normally. They just do better with, like, say, preteens and up.
Yeah.
Whereas you give them like a 7-year-old, they're like, dude, I don't know what to do with this. They just got too much energy. They don't want to play. They don't really want to be here, So that could be your thing where you go, hey, is it the junior?
Yeah, and the young.
Hey, look, I do most of the juniors. And, if you guys want to do a couple just so you can kind of stay fresh with it. And then you do a lot of the seniors. And do you do, what was it? It was junior, senior, and what was the first one?
Young beginner.
Young beginner. That's 4 to 7?
5 to 7.
5 to 7. Yeah. Do you have a lot of those?
We have quite a few. I think our bulk is definitely junior.
Yeah.
Most of our school is 70% kids. But the bulk of the kids is definitely junior.
That's really cool. Okay. So if you get to where, you're pretty full, if you're doing 150 students with 4 in a group, you're looking at like 37-ish groups, something like that. And probably a little more because most of them won't all have 4, right? You'll have some that have 3 in it.
Yeah.
So let's say maybe 45 group classes. I would say something like that. You've got a bunch right now already. You've already got 40. Didn't we say 42 right now?
I think it was, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah. So you got a bunch.
He's got a few class of 1s because of he just hasn't got enough people to group into that one. They're not ready.
There we go. Okay. So that makes more sense.
Groups a little bit.
So are you going to be able to put like these 24 new kids? Are they mostly going towards Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to be able to fill those groups of 1 into a group of 2 or 3 or 4.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there a timetable that you work on where you say, okay, this kid just started a group on February 1st. I know I've got about 6 weeks or 2 months or 6 months or whatever to put someone else in the group, or there's just going to be too far between them?
Pretty much, yeah. We like, I suppose, average is about 6 months to finish a level.
Right.
I wouldn't group a level, one student with a level 2, so we've got kind of that 6 month, I suppose, window.
Okay.
We've got to see a little bit less. So I suppose a few months.
Okay. So let's say someone jumps in January 1st, you start a group with one person. In March, like about right now. So let's say that first person's going to finish up in June. So right now it's March. They're about halfway through, and you get another person or two that wants to jump into that group. When the first person finishes, do they move into another group? Or does the group how does that work?
I lost you a bit there, Shane. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm gonna be upgrading my camera and audio situation pretty soon. Hopefully by our next thing. So let's say you've got someone that started January 1st in what is it called, level 1?
Or kind of got into groups.
Yeah. So they started their own group. There's just one person in level 1. And then in March, you have someone else that starts. So they're about 2 months behind, and that first person's going to finish in June. What happens when that first person finishes? Do they go on to a different group?
Well, it's a few different things you could do. I normally, if someone's ready to go into level 2 and someone else in the group isn't, or the majority of the group isn't, I give them the option of they can join a new group, or they can stay in their group and I'll just make it harder. They can do the new level 2 stuff.
Yeah.
So I find a lot of them, they've got they've got mates.
They like their group, yeah.
So I kind of give them the option, and just end up leveling it. So giving them, if you're doing like an open C major scale, they'll be playing it up the neck, or they'll be playing it,
right,
different strings, different places, along one string. So we do a lot of leveling like that.
Okay. Do you feel like most students want that? They want to stay in the groups that they're in?
Yeah, that's normally it. There's a few that I think like the thing of saying, oh, I've moved up, I'm out of it, I've gone on. They like that kind of accomplishment, I suppose, that achievement.
Yeah.
But the majority of people stay. And as soon as someone joins a group, you find the weaker student rises. I don't know if you find that. And
absolutely, yeah. They
don't want to be the one sitting there not knowing, so they'll try that a little bit harder. And everyone tends to kind of reach the same level.
Definitely.
And if they don't, then I bring them in for one-on-one. So if they're struggling, I'll bring them in for a private lesson and go over, what we need to go and level them up.
That's really cool. I like that. How many does Dan have right now?
I was going to say 18, but he's got 18.
Nice. That's 18 groups or 18 students?
18 students on his
Okay.
Saturday.
How many groups?
So was it 9 a minute ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9.
Okay. So really, we're not going to increase his groups very much. We're just going to increase the number of students that he has.
Yeah.
Is he taking all of these intros, or are you doing some of them too?
I do all the intros.
So you do all the intros and then you move them over. Okay.
Yeah.
Has he done any intros before?
No.
I think that's part of the bottleneck too. If you can get him to start doing some, so maybe bring him in for some of these if he's got the time in his schedule, and kind of let him see what it's like. I don't know what your training was like for the group stuff, but you probably had him like sit in and then kind of do a little bit of that. Yeah. I would do the same for intros. That way he can do the intro thing. It's hard as that guy on top, I can tell you, because you know how to do things, and you know how to close it. When they come in, you said your wife's normally in the back, right? For the group classes, you've got that down. You teach the class, she signs them up, it's good. And then you bring them into the intro, and you know how to do that. You know how to get them in, you know how to make that connection, you know how to close it. So when you get to bringing someone else in, are they going to be as good at that as you? Maybe, maybe not, but what it's going to come down to is you're just not going to have the time to do it after a while. Okay, so I would look at maybe doing that. So look at maybe bringing him in for some of these intros, or you've got those next 7 coming in. Maybe that's a good trial. Yeah. Just let him do. Did he do the open days at all, or was that all you?
That was all us, yeah.
But, yeah. So maybe let him do these 7. And if he gets them, cool, and if he doesn't, that's just kind of the price of learning.
Yeah.
And you'll have some more that can go, but it's better with 7 than with 20 or 30.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. So if you can kind of get him in for that, maybe even let him do the intro classes, then you'll be able to see, okay, can I trust him with this? Can he handle this? Or is he just good at the classes and I'm always going to have to do this or find someone else to do this? But as you grow, it's finding where that bottleneck is, finding where everything's going to slow down. And right now it's definitely the intro classes or the open days into the intro classes. But I'll say this, they can work if you start passing off more of the groups. So if you've only got, let's say maybe 10 groups that you teach a week, or you're teaching a bunch right now, right? He's got 18 and 9, which leaves you with what, 90 something?
Yeah, quite a few. So yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So I do 4 days.
Yeah, so you got a ton. So if you can start cutting those down or passing those off to Paul or bringing in another teacher, then you can be that open guy. And you can just leave in your schedule. Let's say you have, you said you teach Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, Sunday, sorry.
Sunday. So maybe your weekends become your open day stuff. And that's only once every 6 weeks. So you really only do your open day stuff then. And then the 4 or 5 weeks in between, that's just family time, that's business time, that's whatever else. So you're always the guy that does the open days, but you're not teaching full time on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does it look like if you start? Do you want to keep growing, or do you want to cut back, or where do you think you're going to be?
I'm not sure really.
It's hard.
Sorry?
I said it's hard.
Yeah, because the plan was always 100. You kind of hit it and you think, oh well,
I can keep going.
100.
Yeah,
we could probably do more. So now we're kind of, like I say, with you and studio chain and stuff, it's kind of mainly kind of think bigger and kind of push harder, which then opens up loads of new problems, which is obviously good.
Right.
Like where we're at, we've got one room, which then means with Dan working another couple of days, we have no space for intros. We have no space for individuals. But then the downstairs of the building we're in is vacant. So we could rent the downstairs. We have 2
Interesting. Yeah.
Which our lease is coming up for renewal in December.
Okay.
And we're not sure what the landlord's going to do because no one's taken the downstairs since we've been there for 2 years.
Oh wow. So give me a rough breakdown. Like, what are you paying for rent upstairs?
We pay $720 a month.
Is that pretty good for the area?
It's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Do you know what he wants for the downstairs?
I think it's up for a little bit less.
Okay. And he may even go even less. Well,
that's it. We've probably got a bit of room to negotiate because obviously it's been empty for 2 years.
Yeah.
They know us. We've been there 2 years. And
yeah.
It's so much easier for loads of
Absolutely. Because I mean, if it was just double, that'd be $1,440. So I'd say you could definitely come in at like $1,200, maybe even $1,000 a month, because that's better than nothing. And also, who wants to be downstairs from a rock school? that's got to play into it a little bit. And then, honest dude, dealing with one tenant instead of 2, that's way better for him.
Much easier, yes. So much
easier. So I think that's a pretty easy sell that you could probably pick up for, maybe $400 a month.
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking, do we think of going even bigger and doing that? And I was thinking, well, we could do band sessions downstairs. We could do, extra things downstairs.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, when we're in the building, so we could actually decorate the outside of the building and brand the whole building and make it look.
Yeah.
At the minute we've got one sign upstairs. It looks. We could.
Now you're dreaming. I like it.
Danny Thompson kind of route where he's got that cool kind of, his California school just looks awesome.
Yeah, he's got the big thing. Okay. So let me ask this as you're looking into growing it and building it, because there's always that option, and the danger of the group that we have is that we're just really excited in growth and more and more. And there comes a point where you have to go, why?
Yeah.
Is it really something that I want to do, or is it just something that everyone else is doing and I want to jump into it? So like financially, is your family okay with 100, 150 students? Like, are you guys good where you are right now, or do you need more for?
Well, this is kind of it. I think this is one reason why conversion hasn't been as big on the open days, because we don't. In the old days, we needed the students. We're like, we need 50 students. Come on. Now it's like, we've got 110. It'd be nice to have a few more. We could bring down in and stuff. So no, we got our prices last month. We get quite enough. We get spending money every month. So we're not. Most of our debt's gone now. We're looking at moving in about a month or a couple of months. We're buying a new house.
Yeah.
And when we do that, we'll be in pretty financially quite stable.
Nice.
So on that side of it, it's not that bad.
Yeah. So that's really good. That's a good place to be, knowing that, okay, like financially, you're good where you are right now. You can always grow. You can always get bigger. You can always get more money. I mean, hopefully you want to retire at some point, because this is how old are you now?
I'll be 35 this year.
Yeah. So it's really fun at 35, but is it going to be as much fun at 45 and 55 and 65? Yeah. At some point you want to start pulling it back. My crazy goal is to retire by 40. Not to actually do it because I love this stuff way too much, but to be able to kind of step back and go like, okay, I'm just doing this because I want to and because it grows things. Okay, so I like where you're headed. I like the idea of taking over the downstairs. I like the idea of, okay, we can bring in bands. You have the whole building. It doesn't really cost you that much more per year. If you had to absorb that cost right now, let's say it cost you $500 a month, so an extra, what is that? 6,000 a year. Could you absorb that cost right now without growing?
We could, yeah.
That's where you want to be. When I opened my commercial space, that's how it was. It was like, okay, we can open this. Even if we don't grow at all, I know that we're going to be okay with this. And when we grew, hey, cool. Because when we opened up, I think our our rent is about $820 a month, $820 plus utilities, plus internet, plus all that stuff brings it up to maybe around $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
So we're around $14,000-15,000 a year just in operating cost. Well, our first year that was about 25%. Now it's much lower because those costs don't rise when you bring in more students. So that's good. So if you know that you can absorb that cost now without it being a big deal, what's the downstairs look like?
Well, the only reason we didn't originally take it was because of its layout. Really, our upstairs, as you come in, you hit the kitchen, so you go into like the waiting area, and then you walk through that into the studio. So it's all open plan. So but the downstairs, the kitchen's at the back, so you'd have to go through the student space, if you like, to get to the kitchen.
Gotcha.
But I'm kind of thinking, well, that we could use that as an intro room. I could use it as an office. We could even partition it, so we could make a hallway quite easy, I think.
What does it look like downstairs? How many rooms do you have, or is it just one big room and then a kitchen in the back?
Big room, yeah. So give us a downstairs and upstairs, just two rooms, effectively.
Yeah. Are they connected interior or just from the outside?
Interior, there's a staircase. So as you walk in the main door, the first door, the downstairs room is there. You walk through a door, you go upstairs, and then there's a second room upstairs. Okay.
So the room from upstairs is your like lobby area, and it brings you into the main room downstairs?
No, there's a ground floor and a first floor. So we're upstairs, and there's the ground floor, which is available to rent.
Okay, so you walk in on the ground floor?
Yeah.
Okay, so gotcha. Here, like I grew up in New Orleans, it's totally flat there. Here, where I'm in Birmingham, there's a bunch of like hills. So there's a lot of places where you walk in upstairs and then go downstairs. It's weird. My mom freaks out every time. So you walk in downstairs and you walk into the main open room. And then you take the staircase to go upstairs to your lobby?
Well, you hit straight into, so you walk into the main door and you straight away hit the staircase.
Okay.
And there's a door here that takes you off into the downstairs room that's available to rent. And the staircase takes you upstairs. And then there's our door there where it takes into the room upstairs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Straight into a corridor, basically, with stairs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, you could do something. Is he open to like build out stuff at all, or do you have to leave the layout like it is?
I'm not sure. I think they're open to do whatever we want. We've just got to put it back when we want.
Yeah. So maybe worth looking into.
Yeah.
For us, our landlord was super cool. So like you walk into ours and we've got 3 teaching rooms, kind of 2 lobby areas that are kind of halfway attached to each other, and then a big warehouse in the back. It used to be an auto detail kind of place where they fix windshields. So up front, they just had their office space, filing, that kind of stuff, and really all their work was done in the back. So the front was really weird. It had a really nice lobby, like wood floors, recessed lighting, looks amazing. But then everything else was just really like weird. So you went to the right, and there were these 2 rooms that were put together, but neither of them were big enough to be used. They were basically closet sized. and you had to walk through one to get to the other to get to the kitchen. It was like 3 rooms connected, but there was only one way to get into it. So we put a door in to the middle room and walled up the first 2 rooms. So now we have 2 teaching rooms. And then we took down a wall into the lobby, to the second lobby. So now we have a big open lobby instead of like a lobby and then you walk through a doorway and there's another lobby. So things like that we were able to do. But he was like, don't do anything to the warehouse. You can't add on to it. Don't, that needs to stay a warehouse. But other than that, you're good. And our landlord's super cool with pretty much whatever. So we may get back and he goes, yeah, you need to put this wall and you need to do that. But if we do that, that'll cost us $1,000.
Yeah.
Maybe. And we're going to make way more off of it. So I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, I mean, maybe keep that in mind. Like, okay, I could go in here and you could put in a few walls and you could turn that space into 2 or 3 teaching rooms.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
So yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. It's mainly because our lease is up as well. It's a sneaking suspicion that they might sell the building because no one's downstairs. So it's another way of securing us in that building.
That's true too.
We've got to pay, because in the UK, I don't know if you have it where you guys are, we've got to pay tax. So the more property you have, the more tax you pay. And the minute we don't pay any, but if we had the downstairs, we have to pay an extra 500 quid a month or 4 on top. But I've kind of tried to factor that in.
So you have to pay like a rental tax?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. We have property tax, but it's for the owner of the building, not the renter of the building.
No, we have to pay it to the kind of the council, the local.
Yeah. Okay. Well, something to look into then. This is kind of a completely separate thing than what we've been talking about. But if that building's up for sale and it's something that you're really into, you might even look at like trying to put something together to buy the building. Because then you don't have to, you might be able to have a mortgage on the building, like commercial lease on it, that's probably about the same as what you're paying in rent.
Yeah.
Right now.
Really, really up for that. And annoyingly, I've been looking around at other places, locally, just in case obviously we lose this place, and there's just nowhere. There's nowhere around really at the minute. Yeah. So so I'm kind of thinking it'd be good to get that downstairs just to secure us in the building, and then it opens up options that we can use it for. We don't move it yet. It's too early, really. We've still got a bit more space, but like you can see, it's not going to be long. As soon as Dan takes on the Monday, we only got a Tuesday and a Sunday free. Yeah. And it'd be nice to have another room. Yeah,
it'd be good to do that, definitely. Let's talk worst case scenario, because I like to do that when we're looking at because it's easy to get excited and go, we'll have this, and we'll have a new teacher, and we'll have this. So like, let's say you get in there and it stays exactly like it is. You get this new space and you get really excited about it, but then you can't find another teacher, or you don't have enough time to open something else up, or you run out of cash flow and you can't do it. So you just got the space. Is there anything that you can do with the space, kind of as it is, as you are, that would make it worth it? Is it big enough to do like maybe student concerts down there?
Small ones. I don't know the square footage. It's not massive, but we could do some performances in there, definitely. Yeah. And again, that could be something that could open up a lot more master classes and things like that. And there's a space then with nothing in it. At the minute, we've got we furnished our
So when you do your master class now, it's basically in your classroom. So you've got all this stuff everywhere. Yeah. So you can set up downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah. We can move stuff out of the way, but it's just so much easier. And obviously recording as well, like the website stuff. Yeah. If I had a recording studio there, everything's set up, I would be able to get a lot more content done.
Yeah. Dude, that's a big one. Where do you do your recording right now?
In the upstairs. We've got like basically, it's interesting. It's like an L shape. Yeah. And where the L's like that, I have like my white screen and back. So I just remove all the stands and all the kind of stools, the teaching kind of space, if you like, moves, and then I record it from that. Okay. So you've been looking at, you told me originally you were looking at kind of building an online academy too. Yeah. We've got videos and people can sign up like a subscription-based thing. Yeah. Right? How's that going? It's kind of not, so school's kind of taken over. It's happening because I'm using it for my students anyway. So I'm putting like, you probably, I don't know if you saw it, the Ed Sheeran one up a couple of weeks ago, that song's on there. So the content's coming on there. Um, but we've been so busy with the open day and stuff, it's kind of stopped for the moment.
Yeah, that's cool. What are you doing it through?
So,
what are you doing it through your online thing?
well, I'm doing WordPress. So
Okay. Yeah. You're just hosting on WordPress, making it like a membership site.
Okay. So rather than Teachable or Thinkific or something like that, it's WordPress.
That's cool. So dude, that might be an idea right there where you get the downstairs and just having that space set aside for video stuff, it might be enough.
Yeah.
You know, just to have that space makes you do it more because you have the space. I know how it is. Like I do these videos and I try to do a couple of other things here and there. And just like even this little setup I'm on right now, the computer is on like 4 books to be up high enough to where I'm not like this when we're doing it. You know, I've got this little desk that I built over here that it's like kid sized. Because my wife's desk that I'm on right now is the big one that I built for her that we were going to share. So that doesn't happen. So I imagine like, man, what would it be like if I had like an office and I really had all this space to do this? And I at least dream that it would be better, you know, that you'd be able to do stuff on your own. So that could be cool. I mean, especially if you can start bringing in some income for that. So maybe a goal for you. Where are you at right now with your online school? Like I know you have some content already up there.
Yeah, it's the main thing that's I've been going around in circles for bloody ages about. So I originally spoke to David Hart a while ago about the school because I sent him an email saying I want to do an online school. I was going to call it the G4 Academy, and he came back saying, well, you know, we could do it as a members sort of thing, trying to get everyone involved, which is kind of Dave's. You know, he wants everyone to be in it.
Right.
So then he said, well, here's what I'll do. The members, you can have your own school online. All I want is like a 5% commission or something like that.
Right.
And then no one really did anything with it because no one could be bothered. And then I said to him again, well, I'm pretty much rocking it. So, and then he said, well, I'm not going to charge anything, basically.
Okay.
So now he said, I can use the method online. I can use all the materials. I don't have to pay him any you know, commission or anything like that. So that's where that is. But now, because I'm G4 Guitar Ashford, which is obviously the region I'm in,
right.
I have got the name thebeginnerguitaracademy.com.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was thinking that would be a great brand to put online, Beginner Guitar Academy, rather than G4 Guitar Ashford.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the online stuff, I could start moving away from the G4 brand a little bit.
I think so. Because the G4 stuff is good. Obviously, you've built this awesome thing. David's done good. I finally got to look at it. I sent you that message. Yeah. And we'll talk more about that later. But, like, it does look really good. There's a lot of good things there. But I think there are 2 types of teachers. There's the teachers that are just like, dude, just give it to me and I'll teach it. And then there's like me and you that are thinking a little bit more. And we have these things that we want to put into it. So for me, like I was saying, like 85% of it is awesome. But that other 15% is what's holding me up. And every single method I look at is that same way. So for you, I know that there's things about G4 that you love. And I know that there's other things that you want to bring in. So this could be that option where you get to do that. Because with G4, with the license you have, you can do that, right? You can use bits and pieces. You can use, you know, it's yours to use as you like, basically. Yeah. So that's cool. You can kind of start it and see what works. Were your videos basically going to be walking through like the checklist type things, like your lessons?
Well, I've got already 110 videos up there already.
Wow.
So all the checklist videos are kind of there. It's me saying, oh, we've got to do these chords. You've got to get this too.
Yeah.
And I was thinking one thing I've not seen much of is practice videos. So I started recording videos of me, you know, saying to a student, right, we're going to do this picking exercise. I'll demo it. And then I'll play it out and there'll be a click track.
Yeah.
And they'll play along with it. And then obviously I'll come back in and say, right, now we're going to do it at 80 BPM. So it was actual practice videos.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
So I started writing out, thinking, oh, that'd be good. For junior level 1, there was 80 videos. Oh, fucking hell.
I'm with you. Like, stuff that I'm doing for consulting stuff and then stuff that we're doing for our studio, it's the same thing. Like, this would be a great idea. And then you break it down and you go, I'm going to be here for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And then I just pack it up and go watch a movie because I can't. Even though it's a great idea, like, I'm never going to get there. Okay, so that's really cool. So if you're going to put that much in, what are you charging for this?
For the online stuff? 29, 39 a month sort of subscription, something like that.
Yeah.
Having some kind of, it's finding the way that's going to get me different from, you know, Guitar Tricks and TrueFire and, you know, all those sort of sites.
Yeah, I think just having this, whether you use G4 or do your own, it's the methodology, the fact that you're, because like I've looked at TrueFire and Guitar Tricks and all that kind of stuff, and they're great, but it's here's where I looked at doing the same kind of thing, to basically doing like a beginner guitar thing or beginner drums, since I teach everything. No one's doing that well.
No.
People assume that you already have kind of an intermediate, because it's back to like your teacher guy things. You have people that love to teach, but they really love to teach like intermediate advanced. They love to teach the level that they're at. Nobody wants to come back down and break it down to like, okay, this is a G chord. And G's really tricky because you've got these fingers and you got to get them all in there, and it's going to set, like, no one wants to do that anymore because they're way past it. So if that's your niche, if that's what you do really well, dude, I think there's definitely a hole in the market for that kind of thing. What I would caution is you're putting a ton in. You've already got 100 plus videos in it. You're talking about adding more and more and more. It's going to get to the point where unless you get hundreds and thousands of people, which is definitely possible, you're going to have to keep your price point pretty high just because of the amount of work that you've had to put in. So I would say, let's do this. What if you do like a version 1.0 where you just kind of get it out there, you get it ready. Honestly, like a lot of the stuff that I've done for Studio Challenge and the consulting and the Patreon, all this stuff, is that like I've got dreams much, much, much bigger than what I'm doing right now. This was just like, I know I can help people right now. I know I can do something right now. And until I get to the point where I can do like big, crazy things, this is good.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. Like if you've got this ridiculous, crazy dream of what you can do, you can get there. But like realistically, how long does it take you to record 100 videos, more videos?
Yeah.
You know, while you're running your school, while you're growing your school, it's going to take a bit. So with the 110 that you have right now, is it incomplete? I know it's not as much as you want it to be, but is it like a functional program?
To some degree, my main, I suppose, concern with it is because it's following the G4 stuff.
Yeah.
And what turned me off pretty quick was when I approached Dave about it. About 2 days later, he sent out the email saying, "Oh, now I'm, you know, here's," because I said, "Oh, I'm thinking about doing an online thing." He also thought, "Oh shit, everyone's going to do an online thing," and then a really weak way of charging everybody to do it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of had the idea, and then he thought, "Oh, I better sort out some way of charging it." So he kind of got everyone thinking about it, got a few people to try it badly. And I don't know if you know this, but Dave's got a student site, and he had a monthly subscription, but he had no content. He had nothing on there. He put the checklist on there. He put a couple of, you know, crappy videos on there. He put a couple of like just some of the other G4 people stuff on there.
Yeah.
And sort of got people excited about it, but also said that he had 500 people sign up, but he'd lost like 450 of them because there's no continuity, you know, no new content. So I was like, well, this is not a subscription site. This is just a monthly, you know, one-page member site.
Right. Yeah.
What we're doing with this?
It's not going to work. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of people were trying to do it, and it kind of really turned me off this thing where everyone's going now. All the G4 people are putting on their website, "Oh, we do G4 online." And I was like, well, I don't want to be, because my site, I've put a lot of obviously hours into it, and now it's going to be grouped in with all the other G4 people and they haven't done anything to it, if you see what I mean.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I like the Beginner Guitar Academy idea.
What I liked about that was it has it all in there. Like you said, beginner niche is kind of untapped a little bit.
Yeah.
And that kind of says it all, doesn't it? Beginner Guitar Academy. It's a long name.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, G4 means something to the people that it means something to.
Yeah.
I still barely know what it is, you know, and I've been looking into it for a while. Most people are going to have no idea what G4 guitar is. And to be real, like I looked into it more, and like I love the process of it, but like it's G4 guitar, but there's like 7 things now. I lost the 4. Like why the 4 is a thing, besides just a name. So I like what it is, but it doesn't say or do anything. So I think you're doing a lot better as Beginner Guitar Academy. You can even mention, hey, we're going to use some G4 materials in here, but you don't have to.
Well, I had a little bit of a meltdown with Charlotte last night. I can't remember why. I don't know if it was something Dave posted or something read, and I was like, oh, I need to do my method. This is just silly now. No, it was a student. I had a student yesterday. because we had a new student from the open day, that was why. And he came in, he was playing some like Chili Peppers licks.
Yeah.
He was playing some Hendrix. I was like, oh, you're rocking. Right, I'm going to give you June level 1. We'll learn Happy Birthday. I could just feel his heartbreak.
Why? Yeah.
And I have changed it. You know, on June level 1, there is Happy Birthday, there's Jingle Bells, and there's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah.
I've axed Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and replaced it with Shape You by Ed Sheeran. I've axed Jingle Bells and replaced that by I Got a Feeling by, no, what was it? Black Eyed Peas. I Got a Feeling.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, just open, you know, one finger C, one finger G.
Right.
And I'm kind of adding more and more stuff and thinking,
yeah,
going more and more in a different direction than the G4 stuff is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like you chat to Dave and he'll tell you it's skills. You know, you've got to be skills. Don't bring any songs in until week 5 of the intro.
Yeah.
I've been out bringing songs week 1 or 2 of the intro.
You have to, because it's yeah. Well, any curriculum does this for me. Like anytime you say this is my curriculum, it's outdated. As soon as it's like writing a book. Anytime you put a book out there on anything new, it's outdated by the time it hits press. Yeah. So it's really good, but like, yeah, 15, 20, 30, 50 years ago, Happy Birthday Jingle Bells was the jam. Just because it was a song that was familiar. Yeah. Because kids like to play familiar stuff. But no, like you said, I hate that when I'm like, dude, yeah, here's Jingle. Like I used to teach that kind of stuff, like Mel Bay, you know, those beginner guitar methods, and people would come in like super excited. I would make them earn it. I'd say, okay, if you want to play the hard stuff, stick with me, just like you do with your method. Like, stick with it for this long. And if you're still with me in 6 months or a year, I know that you're worthy of trying to play Hendrix or whatever else. And I've just completely flipped from that now. So where I'm all the way on the other side of I get people in and we do some basic skills, but we're doing songs from the first lesson or 2 most of the time. To where I almost want more of that, like tiered. So I'm trying to figure out how to marry those 2 together. And no one can do it well because it keeps changing. The skills don't change. So what he's got for the skill level is fantastic. But the songs do. And the way that it's implemented does, and where you bring them in does. Even the music reading stuff, like we don't do a lot with music reading in our school. My first few years teaching, that's all I did. Mel Bay, treble clef, I tore it up. Now, I don't remember the last time I taught a kid to read music. 5, 6 years or longer. And I love it. Like it makes it better for me. But where do they use it outside of like band?
Well, this is it. That is one of the biggest barriers. You know, as soon as I say we're doing reading, it's always the last thing to tick off.
Yeah.
You just see them. And I've probably told you before, I'm with my writing partner, we're writing a rock method for reading.
Yeah.
But to make it more interesting, to make it a little bit more exciting, because it's just such a boring topic, isn't it? I
think what it comes down to, Dave kind of hit it with his practice thing. If people don't love it, they're not going to care. So like I had this one student that was all into like Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. Like that was his jam. So we got to the point where when he was about 14, 15, he started with me when he was 10. He could very, very much outplay me by far. Because I'm like, I can play that stuff, but I'm not on that level. And he was spending literally like 8 or 10 hours a day. He would just come home in the basement and just shred. So for his last few years, I was just a coach. You know, I would just watch him and go like, okay, dude, if you use this finger instead of that finger, you get to this lick quicker. I can't play it, but you can.
Yeah.
So music reading and music theory stuff, I tried scales over and over again. Like, dude, learn this scale. It's going to help you when you play these like licks that you need, whatever. And he'll just do his thing. So he would come back like his senior year. Hey man, I was watching this video online and they talked about this like minor scale, the penna something. Dude, it's really cool. Like, I'm going to punch you in the elbow. I'm so mad right now. Like, what are you kidding? Like, I've taught you that 7 times already. But he didn't care because it wasn't practical and it didn't matter to him. But when he got to the point that he loved it, dude, he couldn't get enough of like music theory and scales and everything else. He was all over it. So I'm trying to flip it, kind of like Dave was talking about, and get people to love music. And then, dude, if they want it bad enough, they'll come to you asking how to learn to read music.
Yeah.
They'll come to you asking about music theory and scales and that kind of stuff, instead of having to force it when, like, it doesn't matter. They're not going to use it. They don't want it. It doesn't make them a better person or a better musician because they don't want to be a better musician. They just want to play some Chili Peppers riffs, man, you know? And this doesn't help. Cool. We could talk about this for a long time. I know. And maybe we should, like, I'll try and hit you up with another time this month. Like not this, where we can just sit and talk like guitar curriculum stuff.
Cool.
Because that would be good. I could definitely use someone to bounce some ideas, and I think you probably could too.
Well, I'm definitely, because I've just forever torn between the G4 stuff or, so you kind of hit on the nail on the head there. You know, Dave Hart, he's got something so good, but it's kind of the skeleton. It needs fleshing out. You know,
Yeah.
skills, which is fantastic, but there needs to be more. Hence why I'm doing the workshops and the masterclass and the website.
I think the online stuff is huge.
Yeah,
and the online stuff you can update as soon as he puts it in print. It's set, and that it's been around for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
I think so. It's super outdated. Even the stuff that he has in there, like classic rock, is always going to be awesome for guitarists.
Yeah.
But like we're about the same age. I remember listening to 70s stuff in the 90s when I was a kid, and thinking that it sounded like cool, but like old and dated. Dude, we're as far, like 2018 to the mid 90s is the same as 90s were to 70s.
Mm.
So kids are listening to like Nirvana, thinking about it the same way that we listened to like disco in the 90s to 70s. That blows my mind. Or like us when we listen to 50s music. That's what it's like them listening to 70s music right now. That is crazy, like how far it's changed. So the stuff that was super, like when I'm thinking like guitar god, you're thinking like Slash and Van Halen and Clapton and Hendrix and all these people. Dude, you might as well be talking about like Bo Diddley and like those guys back from like the 1920s. Like they're really cool, but like who listens to Van Halen? You know, it's not the same anymore. So you're doing a really great job with what you've got out there, and the fact that it's a video thing, that means that a few times a month, a few times a year, you can just update. Hey, I've got this new Ed Sheeran song. It fits in here. You plug it in, and now instead of 3 songs to pick from in level 1, you've got 5 or 10 or 20. And I like that. That's where I was with my curriculum. I wanted to leave it as choices. Because if you come in and say, okay, you have to play Ed Sheeran and Black Eyed Peas and whatever the other one was. Dude, what if I hate pop music? Like, that guy that came in with Red Hot Chili Peppers was not excited to play Black Eyed Peas. You know what I mean? A little more excited than Happy Birthday, but I like the idea of saying, okay, here's level 1, and here's like some rock versions and some funk versions and country and pop and Happy Birthday type stuff, all these different things. You need to play 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any of those are going to pass you through this level. You could pick, but you need to pick 3 of these 5 or 50 songs that are there. And that's something that you could really easily put into a video thing. So in some ways, I think that you've I don't know if I warped you or if you were already there from David and G4. Like, I love what he's doing, but I think you're more than that. And I think even before I got in there, you were doing more than probably 99% of the G4 schools that are out there.
Yeah.
So you can either look at it as you're the flagship of what G4 should be, or that you've used it to its peak and then you're pushing it even further. And I think you've just got more to offer there. Some cool ideas. So I wouldn't let it like hold you back. I would just go crazy, do all the stuff that you want to do. I love the idea of your academy. I would think about how to unleash it as a stripped down version.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, how can you get it out there before summer as something that will be really beneficial to people? And then you can keep adding, because it takes the pressure off. If you know I have to put out 300 videos before I can open my school, you're never going to do it. Yeah, from experience, it's been 5 or 10 years of me playing with curriculum. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why I started doing those teachable classes. And even then, like I did the teachable website one, like Build a Better Website. That thing, no lie, was like 5 or 6 times longer. I had like an SEO section. I had a thing where I was going to walk you through how to build a website piece by piece all the way through. Dude, it was going to take me forever, and I was going to have to charge a few $100 for it. And it was going to be worth it, because it was going to be the ultimate site of how to build a website. But I realized there's people out there that can use the information that I have right now, no matter what it is. And it's helped people already. So I think that's where you're at, dude. You've got stuff that's going to be useful. It's already useful for your students. Figure out how you can package it, and even just start with the beginning level. So people are going to start here and then have to move up. You don't have to have levels 3 through 10. Just get level 1 and 2. And then that kind of gets you cooking. If you're like, okay, dude, I've got 10, 20, 100 students signed up. I got to get level 3 going because they're ready for it. That'll get you ready and get level 3, then get level 4, keep building up through there. So that's really cool. One other thing that I want to talk to you about, since you're kind of already hit your growth, you're at 150. I don't know how big you can get where you are. At some point you're going to run out of people that want to learn guitar.
Yeah.
It might be at 200. It might be at 2,000. Dude, maybe you grow a massive guitar school. I have no idea, but at some point you run out of people. Is it worth branching out into other similar instruments? Like, could you start doing ukulele? Could you bring in a piano teacher or a voice teacher? Like, do you want to turn into more of a typical music school type, or do you like the fact that you really focus on one thing?
I do like the fact we focus on one thing.
Yeah.
I do. I think the school, talking about it, I think hitting 150, I can see us hitting that easily. I can maybe see us getting a bit bigger just by filling up the days and stuff.
Yeah.
And then maybe capping and then focusing on the online stuff. And
Yeah.
curriculum stuff. And
I think that's it, man. I would say, because I want to see where you were with that. But I like that you're just a guitar school. I'm a little bit jealous because I have to split it through so many different instruments. You know, like I've got these same ideas for like building online stuff, building that. I'll probably just send people to your school instead, your online thing. And then I'll focus on drums or ukulele or something like that. But yeah, like I have to split through so many different instruments and so many different levels and so many different types of students. I just can't get it done. I feel like if I could focus on guitar like you're doing,
yeah.
then you really get this laser focus of things that you can do. So yeah, like 150, you're going to hit that like maybe by the next time we talk. Honestly, you're at 137 right now. And you've got 7 on a waiting list. That puts you at 143. You know, so you're right there.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe your next big crazy goal would be 200, which is double what you were originally thinking for your goal. And I would say at that point, dude, you got to be pretty comfortable. You know what I mean? Like that's got to be feeling pretty good. So 200 financially, you've got to be doing pretty good. You can rent that downstairs of the building and be feeling pretty good with that. You can have basically a production studio down there where you're doing stuff. You can have office space where you're working. Are you out of your home right now, I'm imagining?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you have a little office space. Like your downstairs could just be your online production studio office area.
Yeah. That was always the target. So I was always thinking of going online and pushing the online stuff. That's always been the kind of the dream, I suppose.
Yeah. And that's where it is. I'm trying to do more of that, even through the consulting stuff. Like this stuff is good, but this takes my time because I have to sit here for an hour. Whereas if I can start putting videos out there and start putting online content out there, that's stuff like the courses. People can buy those courses anytime. So I do all the work up front like you're doing. And then it's not a sit back thing because you've always got to keep adding to it. Yeah. But it's passive.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to be. So especially the way you're talking about this on online school, the fact that you've got that many classes out there, dude, this can be huge. So I think the goal is maybe build up to, 150, 200. And then I think your next crazy goal is to basically make your G4 Academy, your physical location, like play money. Like I'm going to support my family. I'm going to do everything else off of this online thing because that you can do everywhere. So the cool part about that is that, yeah, you have this physical location, but you've got 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they start getting a little older. You get a little older the next, 5 or 10 years, you go, yep, we're just going to shut it down. And you can shut down the physical location, upload, 5 or 10 videos a month and be making enough to support your family without having to work 30, 40 hours a week doing stuff. Whether you actually do that or not, you seem like you enjoy this like I do, doesn't matter. But having that option of knowing that like I could pull back and just do this would be pretty cool. So that way you're not dependent on Kent, just what you can do there. Because, dude, there's a lot of stuff out here. I feel it's going to be a little weird. I feel like the English accent is universal. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if I teach something, it's not going to apply as well. But there's just something about that English and Australian accent that just makes it feel like worldwide it's accepted and it's awesome. And you just feel, I don't know how to phrase it, but you just feel smarter. Like it just feels like when I listen to someone like British or Australian, it just feels like they know what they're talking about more. I don't know why, but it just does. So I feel like you're going to have worldwide appeal there just because you just sound, I don't know, there's something about the British accent to me that just sounds smarter. Like you know what you're saying. Yeah. So take that for what it's worth. You probably don't get that where you are. But I think that'll be pretty cool, man. So
yeah, I think the only hurdle is because the online school at the minute is G4. It's G4 branded. Do I go begin a guitar academy and kind of leave the G4 stuff behind and use that as kind of my way to start building my own stuff out?
Yes.
You think go that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think this is your break. And it's not a hard break. You're not being like, screw you, Paul, like, or David. Like, it's not this like really hard thing. This is moving into a different direction.
Mm.
And right now, you're building it on kind of a G4 base. You're using a lot of that to build it. Who knows what it's going to be as it keeps growing?
Mm.
You may grow and realize that there's stuff that you need to put out there, even skills-wise, that G4 isn't offering or doesn't do the way that you want it to. So you may start doing it and then go like, okay, the music reading part, I don't think I need to do that as much, so I'll pull that out. Or the scales. I love that he's got the scales thing in there, but I've been working on it. I think that this approach to scales may actually be better. And then what you can do is you just go in and you just pull out your scale videos and replace them with others. So it can go either way, man. You can build this into like a G4 type thing that isn't G4, or you can build it into this thing that starts out as G4 because that's what you're really comfortable with right now, and then over the years really becomes absolutely your own thing.
Yeah.
That can go to other places. Online. So the two places I see music lessons going is group lessons and online stuff, which is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
The private 30-minute lesson, it's dead.
Mm.
I think it's going to keep hanging on there for a few years, but you can see it. People don't want it as much anymore. They don't prioritize it. So they like groups because it's community, and they want their kids to hang out with people because I don't know how it is there, but kids don't hang out here, even like they did when we were kids. Like, it's not like, hey, let's go play baseball. We're all going to go hang out. Like, they don't. So they want that, but they have to pay for it now instead of just letting their kids do it. And then everyone just wants to do stuff instantly online. They don't want to interact with people. The people that don't want that want to do it online. Yeah. So I think that's huge, but there's no one hitting the beginner market.
No.
And I think you can do it. And I think you can do it well. I've seen your videos. I haven't seen any of your teaching videos. If you want to send me one or two over, I'd love to check them out.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen your intro videos and just the way that you can explain things. I'm imagining you doing that with guitar and it just being, I take it back. I have seen, I don't remember which one it was. There was one where you were breaking down something. It might have been an Ed Sheeran song or something. And it was good because you're the guy that knows what he's doing with this. So you're talking and then underneath you've got the tab.
Mm.
Didn't you even have like two cameras?
No, it was just tab and a close-up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's really good. That's all you need. If you get really fancy, you get two cameras, so you get one on your face and one on your hands.
Yeah.
But dude, I remember now. It looked good. So anyway, keep playing with that. For next month, I want to hear kind of where your numbers are, that 150, 200. Mm-hmm. I want to see where you are with the online school. Because you're got to be to this point with your G4 thing where it's not coasting, but like you don't have to do the type of lesson prep and business prep that most people are putting in their thing because it's all there for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, I did these. I've got my intro. Like you don't have to think about your intro classes. You've done them. Mm-hmm. So if you're not doing another open day until May, if then you really don't have a lot of like business or lesson stuff going on. Shift your focus to the online thing. Start to look at your students, look at all the different ones that you have and go, okay, which ones am I not able to serve through what I've got right now? That Chili Peppers guy, so he comes in and he's not loving it. What can I do differently? What can I do outside of this that would maybe appeal to him a little bit better? So I want to check on that next week or next month. And then we'll try to get together sometime, maybe beginning of April. Outside of this, just to talk through maybe some guitar curriculum stuff and
that'd be really helpful.
See kind of what you're doing. Yeah, I'd love to just kind of all the groups online are great, but they're all piano teachers. Yeah. And then when you get like Danny and Dave coming in, that's really the first that are not piano teachers. They're more guitar and drum teachers, and you can just tell very different vibe, very different style. So I love talking with guitar guys because I don't get to do it much. So yeah, we'll do that at some point, and then we'll touch base, sometime late next April, cool. And see where you are with the online stuff and your growth. But dude, you're killing it, man. I mean, you were at, I think, barely 100 when we started in late January. And it's like 50% growth in 2 months. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Like that's awesome.
We're laughing.
Yeah. So keep it going, man. You're doing really well. I've got that thing coming up in a little bit if you want to hang out. The mastermind session.
Yeah, I'm teaching at 4:30. What time's the mastermind? Is it?
It's gonna start in about half an hour, 20 minutes, I guess now. 10:30.
Should be right.
All right. But yeah, let me know if you need anything. And I'll send you a recording of all this stuff.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
Cool, man. Have a good one.
Cool. Speak soon.
All right, see ya.